to Techlearners. In the process of getting a job, the primary and very important step is to write a resume. In my early days of the career, I was very uncomfortable with writing a CV because I have a lot of hurdles. When I start writing the resume, I stuck up with all these hurdles. Hurdle number one, editing of the document, like worrying about font, style, margin, spacing, bullets, table, etc. Lot of things. Hurdle number two, as I was a fresher, I was not aware that what to write in the experience section because I have never done a job, so how could I get the experience? Hurdle number three, the three things: skills, achievements and hobby. As a fresher, I was not much aware about my skills that are related to the job. Obviously, I was not having a lot of achievements also. Yes, I was having a lot of hobbies, but I don't know what hobbies I should write in the resume and how I should write to them. In spite of all these hurdles, the final thing is that I had to write a CV. Why? Because I need a job. In these days, whenever a huge competition is arriving, thousands of the people are applying for the same job. So just writing a CV is not sufficient. I have to write an effective CV. Whenever the selector has approximately 15 to 20 seconds to look into a CV, it's very important that the CV is up to the point, is very crisp and impressive, so that in just those 20 seconds the selector could decide to select the CV and call you for the next interview. So in this video, we will learn how to write such an effective resume. By the end of this video, we will learn what interviewer look into a resume, what sections we should include into a resume and in what sequence, and what contents we should put into each section and how we should put. And in the last, we will see some important tips. So let's begin with the what selector look into a resume. With very less time to spend on each resume, it is less about what selector look into a resume, but it is more about what he see in a resume. Most commonly, a selector will look for the keywords that are related to the job role. A resume must not be very long and boring like a book. It should be like an advertisement, short, to the point and attractive. A resume must include the keywords that are related to the job role. Your resume must be very appealing in the first glance. Format or structure of a resume. When we talk about format or a structure of a resume, let me tell you that there is no standard format for writing a resume. You can write your resume the way you want. The best way of writing the resume is to select a template. Nowadays, many templates are available online. You can choose Google Docs template or Microsoft Word's template. The template will help us in overcoming our first hurdle of editing a document. So let me show you how you can use a template to write your document. Open the Microsoft Office Word. And go to the new option. In that new option, scroll down and you will see resume and cover letter samples. So you will see lots of samples here. like sales manager sample resume, resume for entry level graduate, functional graduate, for chronological and other types of resume. Let me take the resume for entry level college graduate. So here you will see there are all the fields already inbuilt. We just have to change it and write the name. So in the name section we just have to replace and write the name. Then in the address we can write the address. Similarly we can mention the education by mentioning the and large font size so that your name is clearly visible. In the contact section, you can mention your contact number and then mention your email ID. Make sure that you do not mention any weird email ID. For example, like loveyouforever@gmail.com. Make a new email ID that contains your name in it. You can also mention your social profiles like LinkedIn, which is more professional. You should avoid Facebook or Insta handles. For overseas interviews, you can also mention your Skype ID. To describe yourself professionally, you must include a professional title. This professional title can be a word or can be a phrase. This professional title will help you in relating yourself more professionally with the job description. The examples of such professional title can be like problem solver, innovator, creative thinking, creative designer, app developer, analyst, software designer, firefighter, team leader, or could be any such. It's better that you choose 2 or 3 from these that are best suitable for you to describe yourself professionally. In this resume, I have written problem solver, innovator, and creative designer as professional title, as these are much suitable for the job of a software designer. You can change and write professional title according to your job liking. In the fresher's resume, the next section is the education section. If you are a fresher, then you should include your education before your experience. But obviously, if you are an experienced person, then definitely you should mention your experience before the education. In this resume, I am writing the education before the experience, starting from the latest degree to the class 10th in the reverse chronological order. In the education section, you should mention all your degrees in the reverse chronological order. That means you should start the latest degree and end to the high school information. So for each degree, you should mention your institution, then the location and your degree. Then mention the duration of your degree. And then in the bullets, you should mention the highlights of the course, such as your marks, your CGPA or any other relevant coursework. So this detail should go in the reverse chronological order to your high school degrees. As we are discussing a fresher's resume, so if you wonder that what you should write in the experience section, then let me tell you, you still have a lot of things to write in the experience section. Experience section is a place to prove what you have written in your professional title is true for you, and you are a very good fit for the job you are applying for. Take experience section as an opportunity to showcase your professional talent. As a fresher, what we can write into the experience section, let us see. In the experience section, you can mention any project that you have worked on in your academics. You can also mention any internship you have done, or if you have written any paper with your faculty member. You can also mention any workshops or any seminars you have attended. Even if you are doing some part-time work, you can also mention. And even it is not bad to mention if you are doing any tuitions, if you are taking any tuitions. This will show that you are committed towards your profession. If you have done any internship, so you should mention the internship. While mentioning the internship, you should write the company name, then the location of the company and your job role. So here the job role is content writer. After that, you should mention the duration for which you have worked the internship, and then highlights of the internship in the bullets. Make sure that these highlights will be the responsibility while doing the internship. So for example, here the internship was about writing the articles and content for official website, and the next responsibility was to develop the web page using the HTML language. So this is telling the selector that you have the experience of content writing and working with the web pages using HTML technology. Next, you must have done any project. So I am mentioning a project here. So this is the project name, then the technology of the project, and after that, in short statements, mention something about the project. So like here, the Egypt Treasure game, that is the Android application. It is an Android game application and major modules as register, login, play game settings and etc. And then mention the highlights in the bullet points. See the difference how I have written the project highlights. The first highlight is about developing the GUI using XML. The next is develop the backend database using the SQLite. In these two highlights, I have mentioned that I have the experience, or the resume holder has the experience of the developing GUI using the XML language, and then the experience of the developing backend using the SQLite database. Then developing the report document using the knowledge of software engineering and software development lifecycle. And lastly, created AR and DFD diagram for the project using the knowledge of software design. Just see how I have mentioned some keywords here like XML, SQLite, software engineering, software development lifecycle and software designing. And I have also shown the selector that I have the knowledge of all these things. Next in the lane, this resume holder has done the workshop at IIT Delhi. So I have mentioned that the workshop. So name of the workshop and institution and location of the workshop. I have also mentioned in two statements that what was about the workshop. In the one-day workshop, gain the knowledge of hacking and acquire the practical skills of protecting social profiles from hacking. So this is another way of showing that you have skills of tackling social profiles from hacking, and you have shown that you have the practical skills. Now if you are taking or giving tuitions, so you can also mention here, let's see, successfully tutoring junior grade students from past 4 years, maintaining 100% result and 90% students securing an aggregate of above 95%. Now see the difference only by just mentioning that I am taking tuitions. So what is the difference here? You have mentioned some data that your all students the result is 100% and maximum students have secured above 90%. So this shows your dedication towards your experience and towards your work. In the achievement section, I have mentioned top 3 achievements of the resume holder. As the resume holder headed the organizing committee of the college, so I have mentioned headed the organizing committee for the Inter-College Technical Fest in 2019 with responsibilities of leading the committee, managing the events and coordinating with participants from more than 10 cities. The important highlights that I have mentioned some more skills like leadership, managing events and having a proper communication and coordination with the participants. So in this way, I have mentioned a lot of skills of the resume holder. The next achievement of the holder was to head the technical committee of the college as president. So I have mentioned headed the technical committee as a president and fulfilled the responsibilities of directing the committee members with team management and interpersonal skills. This will tell the selector that by heading the technical committee, the resume holder has gained the knowledge of the team management and interpersonal skills. The resume holder has also managed the official Facebook page of the college. So instead of writing that I managed official Facebook page of the college, see, I have written managed official Facebook of the college events that led in an increase of 25% in the page followers in 3 months. So it will tell the difference. See that the follower of the page increased to 25% in just 3 months. See the difference? Next is the skill section. For the skill section, you must see the job description very carefully and try to find out the skills that are mentioned into the job description. You must see that the job description skills and the skills you have in common, and you should mention those common skills into the resume. You can also mention the other skills you have and soft skills you have into the CV. Make sure that you are rating your skills according to your proficiency. In the skill section, I have mentioned some technical skills of the resume holder like Java, Android, SQL, Python, Photoshop, Corel, etc. with the proficiency rating of the resume holder. I have also mentioned 2 soft skills, leadership and social media skills. This section will tell the selector in one glance the skills you have and will make it easy for the selector to look into your CV what he is looking for. In case of additional section, from a lot of things, you should mention a best few. Let's see the list from which you can choose a few things to mention into the additional section. You can mention any certificate or award you have received. If you have attended any conference, you can mention. Maybe you have done any coursework at your school or college level, then you can also mention here. If you have published any paper, then also you can mention here. If you have contributed anything in your college fest, or you have participated in any contest like hackathon, coding competition, or any literary contest, so you can mention. You can also mention if you have participated in any cultural event. You can mention any initiative that you have taken at your college level or in your society. You can also mention if you have managed your college's official website or Facebook page. You can also mention if you are maintaining any YouTube channel or any blog. Finally, you can also write the languages you know. Make sure that you are mentioning those sections which are fit for the job you are applying for and they are relevant. Best 3 sections and mention them in your resume with grace. The additional section for this resume holder, I have chosen awards, certifications, hobbies and languages known. As the resume holder has received an award in poster competition, so I have mentioned this award. The resume holder has 3 certifications, in one vocational training, in one basic Python and the graphics design. So I have mentioned these 3 certifications. In hobbies, I have mentioned creative designing and social communications, which are relevant to the software industry jobs. In the last, I have mentioned the languages known, Hindi and English. So this was an example of an effective resume. So it's time for some important tips. Number 1. Before you hit the print button, proofread your resume twice and thrice for all the errors and grammatical mistakes, because it is very important. Your resume should not have any errors and grammatical mistakes. Tip number 2. For a fresher, it is required that you keep your resume maximum of 1 or 2 pages. The ideal size is 1 page. So you should remove all unnecessary information from your resume and keep it to 1 page. Last but not the least tip, and also the most important tip, never lie in your resume. Write only what is true about yourself. That's how you can make an effective resume. If you want me to help you in making your resume, then please comment and let me know. I will be very glad to help you in your resume. Like this video and share the video with all your friends. You never know, just by doing this, you might be helping someone. And I request, please subscribe the channel for more such videos.